Alright, we're back with more Danganronpa. Left myself some notes last episode. The assistant girl, Sayaka, is dead. We have to find out who killed her. They're not allowed to get away with it. If they get away with it, everybody dies. One of the girls with us got really mad, tried to attack the bear, Konosuba or whatever, and is currently being punished for it. That was what happened when we ended last session. As this is a super anime game, I've forgotten to do this every time with Trails of Cold Steel, but it's hard to forget. With Danganronpa, I'm going to be drinking one shot, or however much this is, of Bacardi. Here we go. Not a fan. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Definitely not a fan. I think this was our last save here. That looks right. Thank you for keeping me honest. She's getting stabbed for fucking with the bear. That's what's happening right here. Just like that, she never moved again.
No way!
I wonder if it's fixed that she dies here. I haven't really picked up on any clues as to who isn't long for this world, other than Sayaka. Painfully aware of the great power and meaning of a promise. I wanted to keep a corpse from popping up for no good reason, you know? What an amazing promise. But don't fuck with the bear.
Now you see just how serious I am. Defy me and you get shot full of holes, exploded, buried alive, disintegrated, etc. So, if you don't want that to happen to you, you must obey those school regulations.
What am I thinking of? Junko's body's been impaled with a bunch of spears. I do like the pink blood. An unbelievable amount of blood started pouring out of her body. Maybe that's a subreddit that put it up on my front page or something. Junko, who until just a second ago had been our friend, is now dead? Was dead. She died. She'd been murdered. In simple terms, it was the death of a human being. It's the most fucking Japanesey thing ever.
Hey,
Were we friends? Mild acquaintances? Just went and died. It's no more remarkable than the inevitable demise of the human race. Okay. This isn't some superhero comic. It's not like when you die, you didn't really die. Appreciate that, game. This game does talk to the audience pretty frequently, which I appreciate. You say you put her in prison or something?
I knew it.
You've been wanting to kill this entire time. Oh, I'm making a joke. You can't kill time. No, she's saying you've been wanting to murder.
Well now.
Localization challenges. The blackened is the person who killed Sayaka, which is the assistant girl. Little file is all the information I've gathered about the death in question.
It's the Monokuma file!
You aren't experts at this kind of thing. You only do so much with the corpse. Gathered up everything I know about the circumstances and cause of death. How do I know the cause of death? The surveillance cameras picked up the whole thing. Great. So he knows for sure. He didn't know for sure he couldn't pass a fair judgment during the trial. That's a good point. Judges can never pass judgment without knowing for exact certain what actually happened in the case. He died from murder. Did I have any choice but to give it your best shot? Okay. Seriously, we don't have a choice. Hey, Azlua, how you doing? And with that, Monokuma disappeared once again. He left us stunned and confused, at a total loss. Left us with Junko's body growing colder right in front of us. The fact that Sayaka and Junko were dead was a huge shock, of course. There was more to it than that. It was the idea that one of us had actually murdered someone. I do kind of like that they have this big cast of characters and you're not sure who's going to die and who's going to kill. We'd found ourselves in situations where we couldn't help but look at each other with open suspicion. Oh no, Isla. Been in that boat before, I'm sorry. Which didn't show the slightest hint that it had gotten to her. Worst thing we can do is lose all faith in each other. That would lead to the same disastrous result as having total faith. Okay.
What?
In other words,
Cooperation is absolutely key. This is like an extended game of werewolf.
What the heck?
Anyone who can't adapt will die. Okay. Remind me, what's the goth chick's? What's she the ultimate of?
That's terrible.
Hey, thanks, Kiri. Gambler.
just a second.
Of course. You're super awesome.
I have no choice but to move forward.
What the heck?
No way in hell am I letting someone kill me. Okay. Might be. I should probably remind myself every session. It's hard for me to keep track of everybody. I don't know why Sayaka had to die. Why she had to be the one. I have to do this. Ultimate triple question mark. There's a transcript. I'm just reminding myself of the buttons real quick here. Relations, report cards. Ultimate moral compass. Affluent progeny. Biker gang leader. Baseball star. Fanfic creator. Clairvoyant. Pop sensation. She's dead. Swimming pro. Writing prodigy. Martial artist. Gambler. Fashionista. And she's dead. Programmer. Lucky suit. Ultimate ellipsis.
Hey,
We decided to do about securing the crime scene. Put someone on guard duty so no one can disturb the area.
Hey,
But I don't mind doing it. I didn't notice the measurements on the profile screen. Yikes.
what?
But at least they've got dudes on there too.
Stop talking.
For volunteering for guard duty, you're in a position to destroy all the evidence you want. Fuck you.
So then.
Thanks, Sakura.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Isn't he like the ultimate doujin author or something, more specifically? Not just fanfic writer?
But what the heck?
To figure out who did it, or else we're all dead. I'm gonna let the auto advance the text here.
What the crap?
Should give enough for everybody to follow along, I think. Looking through the Monokuma file we received. Something very obvious and unusual. There's something interesting about where Sayaka died. It's in Makoto's dorm. She's right. I'm thinking about this now. All at once, everyone's gaze turned to me. Isn't it true that in anime worlds, the size of your boobs directly correlates with your physical strength?
What the heck?
She's the worst. Everyone suspects the main character. In other words, you think I did it? I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I'm gonna check for a pulse. She might still be alive, guys. She really is dead. What's wrong?
What?
Everything that's happened so far is real? It's not a joke or whatever? It's really real?
Let me out of here!
It's alright,
What's
dude.
your
It'll be
problem?
fine.
So then,
Collect clues, form a foundation, construct an argument to come to a final decision.
so
Actually,
goodbye.
Goodbye. Yo. Hey, damn it.
Someone's thinking of destroying the evidence. They better not let me find them. Okay. I'm under the impression that, like, if we're not allowed to kill anyone outside of the specific windows where we're allowed to kill people. Okay. We have, part of the rule is we have to finish the investigation or everyone
Anyway.
is screwed.
this is very suspicious.
Blaming me again.
So,
It's not for sure Makoto's guilty yet. I love how quickly they jump to conclusions. Let's check just to check. Toko's saying she couldn't help investigate. She's not good with blood. She's completely full of shit.
Oh, yeah?
Everyone had already left. Their parting looks at me had still been filled with suspicion. It's because this is a universe like Phoenix Wright where everyone's default setting is dumb and dense. Haven't you been paying attention, Makoto? They have to suspect you because she was found in your room, which is 100% irrefutable evidence.
Execution.
It must be really easy to frame people in Japan.
Electric chair. Bzz, bzz, poison gas. Torn apart like a paper plane in a hurricane.
I can't let that happen. Okay, well, the main character is pure of heart. To look through the Monokuma file. Victim Masayaka Maizono. Time of death is around 1:30 a.m. Body was discovered in Makoto's room. All evidence suggests that death took place in the bathroom. Stab wound to the abdomen. Injury to her right wrist. The wrist suffered a fracture. I have to find out how she was killed. Nice! Monokuma file number 1 has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Alright, found the button. Truth bullets. It's important for me to understand this from the core gameplay loop perspective and scheduling perspective. If you make mistakes in this game, do you find out immediately, and is it trivial to just load your save and correct them? Obviously, I'm going to try to avoid save scumming. I'm going to try to actually solve things the way they're meant to be solved, but I'm trying to keep track of how often I should be saving to avoid losing time, like we do in Phoenix Wright. Aren't you going to help investigate? I can't leave Junko here. I have to stay with her. Okay. Quick feedback? Okay, thanks.
Help me!
God of Space, King Neptune. Useless. Got it. I feel like there's a button that shows you all the interactables so that you don't have to pixel hunt. There's gotta be a clue here, or not. Observing. Who's spying on us? Give you a guess. I think I've already looked at most of this stuff. I don't know if it's worth continuing to investigate the whole building. Trophies and other items. Oh, it gives me little coins. But I guess the thing is still there even if I've already gotten the coin from it, right? Something I kind of liked about Aviary Attorney was the idea that, you were punished for investigating fruitless things. I didn't see him of crime. My room. Okay. Headed to my room. Thanks for not making me walk there, game. That's a lot of shit to look at, okay. It's my room key. Wow, okay. This would be obnoxious if I was playing this game back to back, because it's been months since we played last. Thank you for the obnoxious 30-minute later flashback. When we switched rooms, we switched keys too. How did the killer get into the room in the first place? Has she forgotten to lock the door? That seems impossible. After saying that, there's no way she would have forgotten to lock it. Sayaka was in here when we switched rooms. With how scared she was, she wouldn't have gone walking around. Nice. I do like the nice pop-up whenever something gets added to your truth bullets. And take it out of its sheath. It's coated in gold. Some of the gold coating has come off of parts of the blade and the handle. Coating sticks to you if you touch it a little bit. Okay. Looking at the lid roller, it looks like there's way less than there was before. Did Sayaka see how dirty my room was? Okay. Gouges in the bed like someone attacked it. Scratches and gouges in my walls and bed. Is this the true meaning of struggle?
Wait.
So it must have been in the other room. That would not have been possible, says Sakura. Our rooms are completely soundproof.
Well,
There's no way you could know. Creating an ideal setting for murder. Scratches on the sheet. Okay, it had the same starting description, which is why I was fast-forwarding through it. How did the sheath get scratched up? Doesn't make sense for the sheath to be damaged. Where are those scratches on the sheath? No idea. There's a bunch of them all next to each other. I'm just making sure I got all of them there. I think I did. Do you think I'm guilty too? I don't have to make assumptions like that. I simply do not know whether or not you did this. She's great. Okay. Oh wow, I did not see her behind him. Freaking me out there, game. The notepad is there. I don't think it's relevant right now. Oops, it's the lid roller. Toolkit is still inside the drawer. No evidence has been used at all. I can't even imagine a situation where I need a toolkit like this.
Yo. What? What?
We're not in the mood to be building fucking furniture, right?
What?
No one's busted out their tools
By
yet.
the way.
Okay. My guess is that Kyoko is the ultimate detective, but we'll see. Let me check my bed. Two-dimensional. I'd love for there to be a little marker. Wait, is that... Maybe there is one. Tells me if I've already looked at something. Is that evidence of a struggle? Must have been some kind of fight in my room.
Well.
Shit, I didn't mean to do it again. Come on, back out.
What?
I got most of the important stuff, right? They call her name while she's investigating the area. Is this the true meaning of evidence of a struggle?
What are you doing?
Isn't it obvious?
No, not really.
I'm searching.
Searching?
Metal Gear?
Did you
Not
lose a
exactly on
contact
her
or
knees,
something?
though. Sit up straight instead.
Listen,
Are you a clean freak? You have to pull some Sherlock shit on me?
I see. Hey,
Something very unusual about your room. Reaction. What do you mean? Didn't find one single strand of hair. Not a hair from the victim, not a hair from you, even though you've been living in here. The lint roller had been used, but I never touched it.
I see.
Your room didn't have a single hair in it. Someone used your lint roller without your knowledge. In other words, is it very common to use a phrase like "in other words" in Japanese? Ko's room just as a way of restating something for emphasis, maybe? Like I hear that a lot in anime. Who even looks for hair? Ultimate Detective. Can't let it get to me. I can't afford to freeze up now. Do we ever deal with the corpse? No, it's just still sitting in there. Got it. It wasn't a dream or an illusion. She lost everything that made her her. It looks like there's some letters behind her there. Why did Sayaka have to die? There I saw 11037 Leo L. It's a great Adventure Time episode where they meet a bear whose name is Bill, but he introduces himself as 7718 because he like carved his name on some wood and looks at it upside down. I don't know why that's my name. She's a shadow of her former self. Some sort of sharp object has been thrust into her stomach. Where did they get what they used to kill her? Since her right wrist is broken. Something glittery on the wrist. The gold flecks from the sword. Next monster. Blood on her left index finger. That's it. Surprisingly red blood. Breaking her wrist must have happened earlier. Wrist got broken in the main room. Corner in the back room. Bathroom inflicted the deadly wound. That's everything that's in here, I think, as far as I can tell.
it would seem...
Found it, right? Bloody numbers. Never seen something written in blood before. As if she wrote it with life itself. Do you often talk like an aspiring poet? Read it upside down.
So...
She wanted to use her body to block them. She had to turn only her hand toward the wall. If you were to write something in that position, you know what the result would be.
Well, Makoto.
How can it tell me? You need to uncover the mystery of this case yourself. Otherwise, the case will end and you'll remain unconvinced. It's upside down. Got it. Like they went to great trouble to make sure. Maybe there's supposed to be a dash there and it should be Leon?
Makoto.
Who better to ask than the ultimate programmer? It's a terrible person to ask. She just tripped really bad. Just holding a knife. Whoa! Oh god! Oh no! So much blood! Zoidberg destroying the model ship. The door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. When I first tried to use it, I thought it was just locked. Once you learn the trick, it opens no problem.
Correct.
The door doesn't quite fit the frame, huh? Where did the broken door knob?
That's right.
Shut the bathroom door. The doorknob. What the heck? The doorknob's practically about to fall off. Why is it like this?
It would seem...
It's pretty funny to imagine Prof. Whoa, whoa, I'm so clumsy. This was intentional. Someone used a screwdriver. Why would someone want to do that? To get into the bathroom because she was hiding, maybe?
So...
Right. Only the girls' bathroom can lock, right? Whoa. Now my head's moving slower than
Just
it's
a
supposed
second.
to. One more question for you. You mentioned your bathroom door will get stuck, right? Did you tell anyone about that? I did tell Sayaka about it last night when we switched rooms. Only you and Sayaka knew about it.
I see.
She's really starting to get into all this. Like, look,
Goodbye.
Kyoko gets in here and she's like, I am into this stuff. This is my shit. Turned and left the room. Maybe I should look around somewhere else. Look into the DVD that Sayaka got. Other areas worth checking into. To remind myself, it was Leon! Leon did it! He's the one whose name is on there.
By the way,
Trash room here in the dorms, right?
you son of a bitch! Shit. You're fucking dead.
Poor Leon. Someone was trying to frame Leon, but I think they're trying to set up that she did it. It's the first trial, so.
Yo.
I think I'm done in the room. Someone doesn't know how to slice a turkey. Definitely my room, but the nameplate has Sayaka's on it. This is Sayaka's room, right? The nameplates were switched? Why would anyone do that? Can't let myself get depressed again. I need to search for clues. All that's here is the sewing kit and the organ map. What the hell do they want from us? There can only be one thing in the trash can. She got really upset after seeing whatever was in that video. I need to borrow this DVD. I assume to have taken it then? I didn't get a pop-up saying that I got it. Music is a big deal for me. There's a lot of movies that have only resonated with me because of the soundtrack. Like Star Wars had a boring Marvel movie style soundtrack. I don't think I ever would have been very invested in it. Hey, did I give you permission to do that? Get your hand off the door. Let me ask you about numbers, even though this has nothing to do about numbers. Nothing here will help you.
Very strange.
He didn't even try to hide the suspicion in his face. You're responsible for her death, wouldn't you say? She wouldn't have died if she hadn't switched rooms with you, right? I mean, that's not how any of this works, dude, but whatever. She's dead because of me? It should have been me that died? Yes, Makoto. Catch up. Come on. Hey, you did it. Let's get it over with. Look who files that Sayako was killed in your room. Could it be the nameplate? You did it or are being framed for it.
Most suspicious.
Will that allow you to dispose of evidence in the trash room? She isn't here anymore. She's dead. May as well check everything. Sometimes it gives you coins. As I placed my hand on Neon's door, I noticed a human-shaped blur come tearing out of the depths of the hallway. Searching your room.
Seriously?
Everything. Your name is written in blood behind her body. And if we're gonna pretend like her dying in my room is incontrovertible evidence of my guilt,
Hey, you
I
bastard.
do like the little sprite art for the doors. It's cool. Oh, that's a natural reaction for someone. But it's like, I'm trying to go into everyone's room, and he's the only one that shows up, right? Alright, never mind.
Mr.
We're gonna do
Maiki.
one more. I appreciate that.
There's no way to think about this in a common sense kind of way.
The highest breach of
So
etiquette.
it would seem.
Trash room. Oh, this is even a dedicated room. Sturdy gate here. No way to get past.
Years!
End of the line. This is where all the trash in the school winds up. Murder's a higher breach of
No,
etiquette.
no, you can't go any further!
Only the person on
No,
cleaning
no,
duty is
you
allowed
can't
in.
go any further! No, no, you can't go any further! No, no, you can't go any further!
Cleaning duty has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook.
Monokuma!
Shit, sorry, I was trying to read the thing on the bottom.
No, no, no!
hatch on the floor. Door won't budge. It must be locked. Murders on the LKF with consent. Looks like some kind of switch. Some kind of switch. I think there's no reason for me to look at cameras anymore, but I'm not 100% sure. Interesting. So I can technically move the right stick and the left stick at the same time, but not in the way I'd expect it to work. Like if I move to the right with the left stick, and then left with the right stick, it just locks the reticle in place. So I guess they just both do the same thing? I guess the right stick doesn't let me move forward. Restroom. It's a fish tank. Can't imagine how this will have anything to do with the case. I'm the protagonist. I know what the case is all about. Look at me. Is it the X version of an existing trial cert? I don't want to be spoiled on what it is, but I still haven't popped in game to check it out. Let's see. I can also use LB and RB to strafe. Full solo duty in the Trials next version of that. Okay, that's cool. They've had several solo duties where it's like, it would be neat if this was full-on content. Group content. This is probably a waste of time. It's the one swimsuit gets noticed. Unless if like Leon's clothes are in here somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Abundance of caution and all that. It would be mean of them to put an event flag behind one of those washing machines, but... Okay. Got a built-in hot spring area, as of course we do. What's up? Taking a break since we started. I don't have the first clue what I should be doing. Being in the dining hall helps keep me calm. Well, that could be the murder weapon. There is a missing kitchen knife. One of them is missing. Nice. One of the lemons is missing. I couldn't concentrate on cooking anything. Okay. Marbled meats, salted meats. He's so excited. Someone made lemonade. We gotta have a trial in this that's like the Anaconda malt liquor scene in Black Dynamite. The classrooms, right? Still remains to be seen if the literal parrot person is going to be called to testify an aviary attorney. It's just the way I came, right? Okay. There's technically two separate classrooms, right? I think it's the same room, though. Good. Door won't budge. Go play this DVD. Should be the room to do it in, right? The DVD that Sayaka threw in the garbage. Pushed play and the screen was dark for a few seconds, but then... Your concerts. There with the friends who had been important to her. So full of life. I mean, she was super dead as soon as we met her. That voice had come despised so much began to float out of the speakers.
Sayaka Maizono, the ultimate pop sensation, lead singer for a world-famous all-girl pop band. For these girls, the glowing spotlight only made them that much more beautiful. But then...
I saw something I could hardly believe. Sayaka had disappeared from the stage, which was now in ruins. The other girls had all collapsed.
This ultra-successful team suddenly fell apart. None of them will ever perform on stage again. None of them will ever feel the warmth of the spotlight. For Sayaka, there's simply nowhere for her to return to. So here's the billion-dollar question. What, oh what, could have caused the group to go to pieces?
Look for the answer after graduation. Okay. That wasn't real, right? They're a super famous pop group. Everyone knows who they are. That really did happen. Everyone in the outside world must be going crazy. What kind of person would take things this far? It's the murder bear. It's your ultimate moral compass. Monokuma came and talked to me yesterday morning.
Listen to me!
I realized I was basically in charge, so he started to talk to me directly. You're on cleaning duty now?
That's wrong!
Fumi volunteered right away. Swap out on a weekly basis. Okay, it's a clue dimension, I guess. I don't remember who that is. Hold on. Thank God for this document. Pedophile guy, or excuse me, the doujinshi guy. Class rep. There's a lot of overlap there. Yeah. Try your hand against the almighty Mono Mono machine. I do have some coins. I think I asked this last episode, but the only thing you use coins for is to gamble in this thing, is that right? Yeah, he specifically writes erotic doujinshi, but sure. The ultimate hallmarker. They called him a ultimate moral compass. Other people in chat have repeatedly confirmed in the Japanese version it's erotic. Scroll up a bit. Lucky! There's just a chance to get another one with the same coin? Obviously, I can't go in. The best way to get everything is to, like, are there enough coins in the game that with the repeat chance you can still get everything? Not that I care about that, but I'm just curious if you basically have to save scum to get all of it. I'm guessing y'all have nothing new for me. I'm gonna talk to the Ultimate Detective again.
Huh?
It's Leon.
I'm sorry.
Don't ask the numbers person, they're not numbers. Sure, I'll give you lots of coins, gotcha. Maybe she knows more than what she's letting on. Okay, same text. Isn't that kind of game?
Help me!
Someone clean up the corpse. That's not even a murder that we're trying to investigate, and we're still not cleaning that up. Nurse is closed. Let me try talking to the detective again. Let's see what's out here real quick. Exit we're not allowed to take, but Celeste is here. What's up?
Huh?
The entrance is being blocked by a huge slab of metal. Okay. This isn't going to help me, but we are going to reward you for looking at it. Using coat hangers. We've got basically all this stuff. Can't go upstairs. Dropping everything, playing nothing but the FF7 remake. Maybe once the game is done, right? It's only like episode 1 of 20 or something, right?
Seems
What do you know about this knife? Actually, I'm gonna go back into what's marked as Sayaka's room. 2? Huh. Oh, she's gone. Interesting.
By the way,
Killer could have destroyed evidence right before anyone found the body.
you son of a... Shit. You're fucking dead.
What if it was a girl
Yo.
that did it? That'll get sorted out when the time comes. Okay.
Hey,
I already saw this. Part 6. It seems likely. This isn't me spoiling anything about the FF7 remake, as I've avoided all media about it, but I'm just assuming that Part 1 either ends, and I don't confirm or deny this because I don't know for sure, but I assume that Part 1 ends either with leaving Midgar or even before leaving Midgar. Knowing Nomura.
Such ignorance.
You're like a child lost in the woods, you know that? A total waste of space. Hey, you're supposed to be the cleaning guy. Looking for whoever's on cleaning duty. Matter of fact, that's me. Someone on cleaning duty, the square will be flooded with trash in no time. You're like a child that wanders in the middle of the movie. He's a pederast, Walter. Donnie.
here we go.
What's a pederast, Walter? Give me the key of the trash room gate. There you go, Cass.
Very strange.
See, antimatter. Godspeed with your homework. Yeah, that's fair, Cass. Why not leave the trash room open all the times? We can throw out things whenever we want, because if it's only available at a specific time, it makes trials more interesting. Enemy kills a fellow student, becomes blackened, will graduate unless they are discovered.
So that's it.
Anyone could go in and out of the trash room whenever they wanted. Destroying evidence would be easy. At least the rules are diegetic, right? That would be boring.
Hey, listen! Hey, you bastard!
Oh.
Why'd you want the cleaning duty gig anyway?
You... Is it, like...
He wants to dig through the girls' trash.
There's no way to think about this in a common sense kind of way.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean.
Completely unforgivable!
I would never get tired of duty. Great. Great.
Give me a break.
I am very concerned that he's going to survive long into this game.
What?
If ever a guy is cleaning duty, Sakura can accompany them.
Mm-hmm.
50% less sweat and drool. You haven't triggered that flag yet.
You got it!
They said he killed his wife. He learned to get by on the inside, but he never stopped dreaming. Get busy living or get busy dying, he said. Him and Rita, they found themselves a way out. Whatever, please hurry up. Okay.
Mr. Naegi! Without a doubt.
Surely you aren't planning to use the trash room to destroy evidence, are you? Yeah. Must have been like a Japanese movie that they were referencing. The actual killer is you, isn't it? Yes, it's a parallel world. Shards of broken glass scattered in front of the incinerator. Used to be some kind of glass ball.
Is this perhaps...
Enjoy, Ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
If you collect all 7, a dragon will appear and grant you a single wish. Who did this particular ball belong to? It's a crystal ball, it has to be the clairvoyance, right? Burnt piece of something. A hunk of burning love? No. No, not that. Blood on the cuff. This is all that's left of evidence the killer destroyed. It's on right now.
Yes, indeed.
Press the green button to get it going, the yellow button to turn it off. Someone turned it on, shock and awe.
Fairy?
Well, that's a line they recorded.
Huh?
Alien world where people actually have pink blood.
I feel as if...
Most suspicious.
Is that possible? Turn it on without opening the gate. They threw the crystal ball at the switch and it shattered.
Completely unforgivable!
Yeah, right, antimatter.
That's it! I'm sure of it!
Pretty sure he's voiced by the same person that does Monokuma. The green button turns it on, the yellow button turns it off. Or so it seems, anyway.
Come on, come on.
We've got all kinds of smut that might help cheer you up. I think it's pretty clear in the English version what kind of fanfic artist he is. Writer. Okay. Sounded like I got an event flag to go back to the gym. You got a white shirt? I guess basically everybody does. Or so it seems. Maybe not, who knows? That, as they say, is that. I forget, there's no way to directly fast travel to a room, right? Follow the map there. It's not like there's a long walk between places. Just make sure I'm not walking if there's a fast travel. Snap out of it. Does this look familiar? That's my crystal ball. It's all smashed. What the hell?
The heck?
I bought it because the guy said it was blessed. He said it was unbreakable.
What?
I mean, if it was made of crystal, it would probably break too. It belonged to the pillars of history. Genghis Khan, George Washington, Socratic method. The world is full of history. Dude, that's like the basic construction of like 60% of Futurama jokes are like that effects. Got it in the laundry room last night. Someone must have come by and snatched it. Anyone could have found it and taken it. How much did you pay for that thing? Everything I saved up from fortune telling for 2 years. $1 million. That's like $10,000, is that right?
Huh?
She's not helpful with that. Alright, well this is the first time I've seen the actual core gameplay loop of investigating. It's pretty similar to investigating in Phoenix, right? Find the event flag. It's a little bit easier because you have the button you can press that shows you all the interactables in the room. I think they've established this takes place in Japan though, right? Like they're not pretending like this is America and everyone's eating hamburgers. Let's see. Laundry room. See if I can find the worthy thingy. This tells me where people are, so that's helpful. Didn't talk to her before. Everyone should be eating hamburgers. They're the perfect food. Blackboard belongs to us now. Secret beauty. She's gonna be the super serial killer person. Oh god, is that really true? Did one of us really kill Sayaka? Yes. Now your investigation going. I don't do blood. I bet she was a serial killer before she was brought into this school. I already know who did it.
Very suspicious.
Uh-huh. Useful. Oh, I can't inspect the thing on the blackboard. Godspeed, Leon. Get that, Sakura wall grind. Sakura wood wall paper. I asked Andrea, I was like, hey, stream's starting soon, and I need 2 more cherry blossom recipes in Animal Crossing. I'm like, can you do this every 5 minutes? And she's like, she was very suspicious. She's like, so what does it entail? So I showed her, and she's like, yeah, there's no way I'm doing that. Not in a million years. I was like, okay, I didn't think you would, I just figured may as well ask. You never know. Let's see. Such a supporting life. I made it seem like I should be coming to the laundry room to progress, but maybe not. Of course, they won't let us see the camera footage, that would be beside the point. I'm gonna try to do it tonight. If Andrew and I are watching TV, I hopefully can pop enough balloons to get the last couple of recipes. It's pretty brutal. I love Nintendo, I love their games, I love Animal Crossing, but they make some really interesting choices. Right now, there's a spring event going on where you get bamboo recipes all the time. There's a Bunny Day Easter event going on where you get eggs way too often. And then there's a cherry blossom recipe that ends, or cherry blossom event that ends today. And all of these things compete with each other. So of course they do.
Seems like...
Okay, no one has anything new to say. But this map, hold on, might show me people that I can talk to that could be productive. Does the red exclamation point mean that there's progress in there, or it's just something to do there that I haven't finished yet? Yeah. Baffling. If you haven't been, you should probably go. Okay, but if I have been, it doesn't mean there's still something to find there. Pretty sure I've got all my relevant truth bullets here. Just don't know where to go to wrap things up. Alright, well I might ask for help as to which room to go to here in a second. You seem down.
Come on.
That's right, that's the smut one. You won't open the hatch, it's fine. Can't use, the bathroom is useless. So I'll try the dining hall again. I don't think she'd have any new information because I already talked to her. Did you notice one of the kitchen knives is missing from the dining hall? It was kind of strange, a knife suddenly disappearing like that.
That's right.
When did you notice one of them had disappeared? How convenient. Disappeared while she was drinking her tea. You tell everyone I didn't come in the dining hall, which proves I didn't take it. Nice. Did you really kill Saika? No. Yeah, I think you're right that, like, it's like the Phoenix Wright universe. And everyone has to be dumb and dense. Congrats, Leon. Nice. Two people becoming good friends and then one killing the other is a classic drama setup. That was the last event flag. Ding dong, bing bong. Did it.
So, I'm getting tired of waiting. What say we just get started, It's time for the long-awaited class trial! Now then, allow me to appoint a proper location for the proceedings. Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon!
Hoo. The red door on the first floor. Second floor basement, the tank hangar. No, where I have to go. Okay. God. You just watch me do this every time. We could probably make a counter for it where I press this button. Nope, that's not the menu button. This button. No, that's not the menu button. This button. No, it's X. It's not Y. It's not start. It's not left. I think I've said before that I think I've played a game where the menu is on every conceivable button. I want to say Racketeer was on R3, like pushing in the sticks, which I think is what finished it off. But I've definitely had it on both shoulder buttons, every possible face button. Maybe not the A button. I haven't had one where it's the bottom button. Let me make sure I save here. Yeah, push in the left stick, brought up the menu in Racketeer. The default keybinds, anyway. We've all been waiting for you. I guess technically there's a menu on the confirm button in Earthbound.
Listen to me!
I think Racketeer was on both L3 and R3. Let's not jump to conclusions yet. Save that for the trial. Then we can reveal the details of Makoto's crime. I didn't do that. Me and Sayaka both know that all too well. The one who murdered Sayaka. Is it really one of us? Yes.
Is everyone here? Okay then, please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fates will be decided. I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
Monokuma, you ad-libbed one extra who in that poo-hoo. not as high of an effort voice actor as the voice actors in fucking Puyo Puyo Tetris.
What? What?
Whoever stuck us here took the time to set up a goddamn courtroom, huh?
Impossible. You know?
If you want to confess, now's the time to do it.
Hey,
Wait, settle your resolve and what? Settle your resolve and step into the future.
got it!
I haven't decided 100% you're the culprit just yet.
I'm sorry.
What the heck?
Everybody sucks. Am I the only one that did any investigating?
You know what I mean.
I did my job. I'm counting on the rest of you from here on out. The school basement has become the darkened stage. Okay.
Well then.
I have no choice but to get on this elevator.
Indeed. Hey,
So is everyone gonna weigh in about getting on the elevator?
Dakota.
It's up to you to uncover the mysteries surrounding this case yourself. If you don't, you'll never come to grips with the truth. So like Phoenix, right, it's impossible to progress without having all the evidence, right? Hey, everyone didn't weigh in, I'm shocked. It's a big elevator. This is how a death row inmate feels when this time finally comes. Is it more like a defendant waiting to receive judgment? Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. Doesn't it feel just like a real courtroom? Exactly. It's like a Hollywood movie set, right?
Well now. Yoo-hoo!
Gotcha. I feel like they set up too many booths. Because in order for there to be a trial, someone has to already be dead, right? So you could do at least N-1 booths. I can see there being one of them being empty because Junko wasn't supposed to die yet. Inefficient. The curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment. They couldn't do the cool sad portrait thing. Oh, I just saw the sad portrait. A deadly class trial. Okay. I do want to save data. Thanks, game. You're gonna want to reload if you fuck it up. Set skills. Melodious voice. What the fuck? What? Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed, effective during the bullet time battle? I feel like that's the best possible way for me to learn that. Okay, let's go. I don't know what I was expecting.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, Then I'll punish everyone besides the Blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Oh yeah, my character's voice acting.
Of course.
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn
So up until
idiot.
now,
Why the
they
hell
got
would they raise their
Monokuma
hand?
to record most of the dialogue.
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel
They're creepy.
awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. What? Dude, I know nothing about this game. I don't know if I've really underscored that in prior episodes. Like, this is a complete shock to me. I assumed that this was just going to be Phoenix, right? Absolutely. There's no chug-chugs. As things progress during each class trial, begin a non-stop debate. Characters will speak one after another without pause. Ooh. It's up to you to unearth lies or contradictions buried within their statements. Okay. You have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. I thought they meant bullets, like bullet points. Any relevant truth bullets you found will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to aim. Jesus Christ. Use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Okay. If you run out of time, you'll automatically fail, so please be careful. I like the 3D modeled benches. But the characters are still flat. Make your arguments. Evidence of struggle.
I assert that the one.
Let me review the controls really quick. Aim, silencer, fast forward argument, opening up a menu, fire truth bullet, flashback. Select truth bullet. Okay.
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that
The killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom.
Oh, I see. Evidence of a
She
struggle.
didn't even have a chance to resist.
So like I hadn't resisted at all. There's no explanation of what happened in my room. It's a quick sidebar. If you're unable to spot and refute someone's lies or contradictions, the argument will repeat. In the group of statements, some words appear in a different color. Weak spots reveal important, but not always inaccurate sections of a person's statements. Bullets are only effective against these weak spots. Good luck and have fun.
I assert that the one who was murdered
Yeah, and the murder took place
In the bathroom. So it seems most the killer must have taken her by surprise. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Okay,
No, that's
I
wrong.
get it. Objection! Break!
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked.
He has the
With
worst
the way
voice
things have
actor.
been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
Did you guys do anything?
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
No, oh my god.
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking
I
one
love
look at the
the
scene.
giant text,
Shouldn't
the
even
first
need
murder
explained.
case.
Sorry.
She tripped.
Okay, so
It was very
what's
comical.
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
There's a kitchen knife. There's the kitchen knife. She tried to use the katana.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object, without a doubt. That is...
So the killer used some random knife they had on him. How could anyone do something like that?
Am I already too late?
So what was used?
There was some kind of without a doubt.
So the killer used some random knife.
Has to be before he finishes the talking, I guess. Objection.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
A kitchen knife?
A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
I think they're just trying to introduce the mechanic and that the later
so the murder
trials
weapon
will
was a
be
kitchen knife, but where does
not
that
just
get us?
repeating the investigation phase.
I mean, we all know Makoto killed her,
I
right?
wonder who it is.
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Concentrate by holding down the right bumper button. Time will slow down. It will steady your aim. This consumes the focus gauge. It recovers over time. Let your brain take a rest. No need to rush, other than the counting down clock.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen... But where does that get...
Makoto must have taken...
Did it in secret? No, that's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
We've got testimony that suggests
You're gonna
opposites.
say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me
You probably
earlier?
should have asked her, like, will you testify on my behalf? Never ask a witness something when you don't know the answer, or don't know how they'll answer. Say the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall?
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall.
And
but I
leading
wasn't
questions.
there the entire time.
At least here it's a bunch of high
In
school
other
students,
words,
right, and not actual
there's no
lawyers.
way I could have taken the knife.
I think it's peachy.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl?
Was that allowable?
Oh,
Like,
and more
could two people murder
importantly,
someone and both be
why would I
blackened?
get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become
Thank you.
blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So, in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together,
Yeah.
right?
Otherwise, just have everyone work together to kill one person.
But what if they did work together and they just didn't know about the rule?
Ugh, good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Thanks, Monokuma.
Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife. So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then
Zoom in an effect on his
Did take the
portrait
knife.
there on the left.
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No, no way!
Yeah, that's
I swear
rude.
it wasn't me!
So we're gonna accept your
Sure.
testimony,
Can you or anyone else
clearing
prove that?
Makoto.
I can.
Okay, it's
That's
fine.
right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well,
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis. You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room. So, I
That's
don't
big.
think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
Sakura's not a boy.
I'm a girl.
What? You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Right.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Junko.
Sayaka.
Oh,
She's the
that
one who
works
came
too.
to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it,
Yeah,
she was acting kind of
wow.
unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely,
Then the person who took the knife was the victim herself!
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it?
Yes.
In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
Got points.
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's
Flickering
how you
portrait
twist
thing.
the argument and send
Snap,
us
zoom in and
all off
out.
in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Don't they understand? If they convict me,
Hold
everyone's
on.
gonna die.
It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say?
Thanks, Kyoko. Keeping
Because you
shit under
see,
control.
if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Me? Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Sure. As things advance further into class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. Reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. Literally, Hangman. Deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Presumably this isn't it with English text in the Japanese version of the game. Shoot down the flying letters in the right order. Okay. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. Should have been at the scene, but wasn't. Hangman's Gambit. I'm confused. It should be A is what it should be hair. Okay, I think I understand now. I have to shoot it multiple times?
Now I
think I get it. So I only have to fill in the
That's
blank
right.
letters.
There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at
Thank
all
you
to find my
for the help,
hair at the crime
Sherlock.
scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No.
She's in the
If that were
bathroom.
the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Thanks, Kyoko. Just let her do it.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Is that going to be a running theme of the lint rollers used in every case?
That means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Totally a vacuum earlier. She was tripping in the
Makoto isn't
bathroom.
the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
It's a
No,
really extreme
there
effect.
are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Me
Do
too.
you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Busted doorknob. Busted doorknob.
I got it!
I got it.
Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The
None of you
doorknob
guys
for my
did any
bathroom.
investigating.
It was completely broken.
Why are you even here? It should just be me
See
and
how
the detective
top
girl.
part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob.
Godspeed is low.
This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to
the implication of the setting is that everyone should be playing the role of investigator slash prosecutor slash defense attorney slash jury.
Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Slash suspect, right? Let's have the key right here first. There's more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Number of weak spots will start going up. No matter how many weak spots, essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. Okay, I was going to say, if it's always just select the glowing text. Not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Thanks, narrator. Lower your trust with everyone. Your influence gauge will take damage. I already took some influence damage from the Hangman game. Good luck and have fun. Okay. Bathroom door frame.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her, and they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
I guess that's wrong, actually. Whoops.
The incident took place. Sayaka was first. She then fled into the...
Then the killer ran, and they got into the bath. At that point, the killer...
Because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit...
To finish the job, they...
It was you! We already know the answer. The incident took place. Sayaka was first. She then fled into the...
Then the killer ran, and they got into the bath. At that point, the killer... Because Sayaka
had locked it.
No,
concentrating. Do I get a full focus gauge at the beginning of every discrete encounter in this?
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After
It was
all,
because the door was
girls'
stuck.
rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door. That's not
Lucky or
lucky at
unlucky
all.
student.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
Whoever was convinced the bathroom door was locked. They didn't know the door actually couldn't be locked. Crime took place in my room.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What?
Plates got
Saying
swapped.
the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms. Which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
Yeah,
so they
right.
had no idea how unnecessary
She's like
their actions
a
were.
secondary,
Ultimately, we
non-hostile
can't know if it came
judge,
open by force or
sort
simply
of.
by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Let me try to pause it real quick. I think that let me try to think about how I would do this. Like, I think it would be easier for me to follow along and be pumped about the progression of the trial if, like, Monokuma came out and said, I know for sure that this student, and picks a random student, did not do it. They're going to be the sole arbiter. Like, they're going to be the one that votes. Here, you can't cast them as a suspect, and maybe even, like, change the perspective to play as that person to do the investigating, because it's really confusing to me that, like, everyone's supposed to be a suspect, an investigator, a prosecutor, a defense attorney, and a juror, right? Like, why are we trusting what anyone says? Like, earlier when they asked Hina or whatever, they were like, oh, well, the fact that she testifies that Makoto wasn't there means that Makoto definitely wasn't there. Oh, so she did it. It's like, you can't accept her testimony and then... Okay, whatever, it's fine.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that...
Well, I'm understanding that this first trial is primarily meant to introduce me to the mechanics, and I'm sure that the later ones are going to be a little bit more complex, but so far the trial basically is just, let's use voice acting to talk about the evidence you found during the investigation mode. So maybe it's compelling if, like, when you found those things during investigation, you didn't think to yourself, oh, I wonder why there's gold flakes, and I wonder what the lint roller's all about, and I wonder what's up with the stuck door. But otherwise, it's just like, let's just play that out. This time with voice acting and the characters reacting to it.
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
Physical evidence doesn't need to be confirmed in either verse.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
We all die.
Why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Seems like a bad idea.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions?
Later trials are less about just
they may seem.
like repeating the investigation phase, but with voice acting. Okay. I trust that that's true.
Oh, you.
Because you wouldn't want it to be a difficult trial when you don't really understand how the Hangman's Gambit and other mechanics work.
Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
I guess what I'm saying is that, like, the plot device of everyone is simultaneously suspect, defender, prosecutor, judge, jury, and executioner is interesting from like a novel story narrative perspective. Like, if you made a movie about that, this like Lord of the Flies council of children come together and decide who's innocent and who's guilty, I like that. But I'm trying to understand if there's a game there. Maybe there is in later trials, right? But because there aren't any rules about whether something is objectively true or whether people are going to believe it, like if this was just a story and I never got a chance to interact with it at all, if it wasn't kind of like Phoenix Wright but not quite, I think I would get it more. I probably just need to play more of the game to understand the gameplay a little bit better. You try to pick it, Monokuma comes over and smacks you. Right. I do better. So only Sayaka let someone in because... Don't I have a specific... It's the switching rooms, right?
I got it! Because Sayaka was
Objection.
already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Don't open your door for anyone.
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why
I'm
would you lie
suspecting
about
that
something like
Kyoko
that?
is going to be a primarily non-hostile assistant in all or nearly all of these trials. I guess I'd like for her to be formally enshrined as a non-hostile assistant, right? Something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates and make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
During my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil.
That scene in Big Lebowski.
And these
Jackie
are the words that
Treehorns.
appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it
I
can
think the fact that she could technically be a killer makes it confusing to me. I don't think she will be, just
when
from
I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better
narrative
make sure I
video
rip the
game
paper
vision,
out before I
but-
use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique.
I love that
But
movie.
even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes.
It's like the ultimate movie where it seems
and
like
I
there's
should
really
also
intense
mention,
conspiracies going on,
Found the
but
notepad
nothing is
on the
happening.
desk in Makoto's room. Huh? Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Alright, well, she's submitting some evidence. That's interesting.
And either it was Makoto who lived
We're learning
there,
new things in the
or
middle of the
Sayaka
trial.
who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But...
Of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note. Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
Why do you think
The note was
Makoto-
likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone.
That's what notes do.
She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Sayaka trying to get me
I'm
killed.
only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But then someone swapped the
But can you be
panels.
sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think
I don't
they
know if
are
that's the
at all
direction they're
involved in
taking, but I
what
love it if
happened.
she was trying to get me killed indirectly.
Huh?
What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Yes, please, someone else, submit something
Very
useful.
well then. Pay attention.
Make your arguments.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note,
The place they were asked, it specifically says, my I see. Then they would have gone to exactly
the room that Makoto was staying.
So in other words, even if someone did read, they would not have any...
Certainly would
Guess I
seem that
missed, hold on.
Sayaka and Makoto, but in the note, it specifically says, I see. Then they would have gone to exactly
The room. No, that's wrong.
Counter. Objection.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name.
I guess I'm also confused because I was under the impression that while I was doing the investigation that was kind of like implied to be a public event. So something like this where Edgeworth makes a faulty argument and you go, aha, I know something that's contrary to that, works for me because it's like, well, Edgeworth is operating on incomplete information and I'm operating on incomplete information. So we're both bringing things up that are a surprise to one another. But in this case, it's like, wouldn't they just like read this into evidence at the beginning when they like get together and say, okay, here are the facts. The nameplates got switched. The doorknob was rustly. Like, instead of it being, let me try to undermine you with something you couldn't possibly know, they're basically just this complicated reading into evidence rather than making an argument, right?
And the nameplate on
It was public when nobody was paying attention. Okay. It's the
So
dumb
what
and
you're
dense rule,
saying
right?
is the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Okay, that's helpful, Robin. Yeah, because, like, that can be frustrating in Phoenix, right? That you're almost always going to find out information halfway through that changes things, and your ability to formulate ideas is... So maybe that's the catharsis loop in this game, is you try to figure it out before the trial progresses, which kind of figures it out for you, and then you're like, oh, I was right, or oh, wow, I was wrong, that wasn't what I thought it was. Whereas Phoenix, right, is more of a tactical mystery game, in the sense that you can't really think beyond the current clue step. You just have to answer whatever the exact current question is, because new information comes up later. Whereas this can be a strategic mystery game where once you finish the investigation phase, you could potentially put it all together, and then you just kind of have to step through it during the trial.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end
Sorry,
up
I'm just trying to understand.
Where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Jump ahead a few steps, the game is like, no. Right.
Okay, then who did it?
So you still want to answer the questions tactically.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
She tried to get you killed or something.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate.
So she actually wanted the person to come to the room that she would be in.
Had been switched.
Okay. I think I get it.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
I want it to be that she's trying to get me killed because I think that's more interesting.
Come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
Okay, got it.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
The bathroom wasn't locked
to understand
or whatever?
that,
Hey, Calic,
you
how
first
you
need
doing?
to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out. We know who did it. Whoever she invited over is the culprit.
Nice job, Kyoto.
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Because there's yellow gold flakes on it. I mean, does that mean show... Oh, no. Does that mean show the wrist or show the sword?
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken
Okay.
wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you.
Look at her wrist. You have to pay attention to her wrist.
And there's some on her wrist because...
Yeah, exactly. This is basically it's fact-finding, not a trial. And I guess I was expecting that all the other students were also going to investigate, and then they would all present their own evidence that they found. But it looks like the only person who collects evidence is Makoto. Just fine. Just now I know.
Hit with the sword, right there on her wrist.
You know that pop stars bleed glitter.
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
Solve this mystery. A bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. Okay, that's a nice way to increase the difficulty. Only one of those bullets can actually refute the statement. Combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots. Okay, I was trying to mash that earlier. I wasn't understanding why it wouldn't move. If the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets to be loaded in the cylinder. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Okay. Replica sword sheath, kitchen knife set, replica sword. Okay.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Maizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
Wait, I didn't read what you said. Hold on.
And that's when the sword base.
And that's what broke.
So she grabbed the kitchen, but then the culprit took.
And they killed her.
And that's exactly what happened.
The sheath, okay.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. Yeah. Break.
Actually, no.
We gotta do a debate-based rhythm game next.
Huh? Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword,
how much hairspray does he use in one day?
First,
good question.
Right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse.
It's like Corn on the Cob.
In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out.
Yeah, right, antimatter.
The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Thanks, Kyoko. Just gonna pretend like you're the officially enshrined defense attorney. Her stomach.
Shoot!
Whoops. Her palms, I guess.
I got it!
You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
Oh, okay, I get it, I guess. Like, wasn't sure what their point was.
How do you know that just by looking at her palms?
Because the gold flakes got everywhere.
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
She's a serial killer.
But I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
Because you're a serial killer. The water was off.
According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m.
Your
In
face
other words,
specifically does the
at
serial killing.
nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult. It was an insult.
Insult, obviously.
Thanks, Leon.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The writer has an odor fetish.
I got it!
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Gross.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own. She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in.
Byakuyo's voice is the one that least matches his character model.
And attacked without provocation.
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Nice.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
Yes, Makoto.
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the
Celeste has
names?
good intuition.
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked
More hair
him to
equals
switch
more brain.
rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired.
I kind of like
She
this as a
launched her
twist for the
attack
first
with a
trial.
knife, then found herself under attack.
I like
in
this
turn.
story narratively so far.
That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
I'm actually interested after I beat this. You said there's an anime? I wonder if the anime presents the story differently. I'm assuming that if you were writing this not as a video game, that like the investigation and the trial, you would save a lot of things to be a surprise that's revealed in the trial by someone that investigated instead of presenting both things twice in succession, right? Imagine this is a little bit more challenging to adapt than something like Phoenix, right? Which you can pretty much just do one-to-one.
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
It's not good, that's unfortunate.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? As far as clues go, there's nothing left. Make your argument. Test your might.
It's easy just to say, hey, but there just aren't any more clues, right?
Very well. Then let's review all the clues we...
Do we really have to die? If we don't do something, we're all gonna die!
It's easy just to say, but there
just aren't any more clues, right?
No, that's wrong.
It's like 4 things left, I know, right? Giving up
There
prematurely.
still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Leon.
Wait, what did you say?
The dying message.
Dying.
She wrote something on the wall behind
Good try
her,
to
remember?
localize.
11037. Written in her own blood.
My name's
There must be a clue about the
77108.
killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Yeah, it's written in blood, and she's got blood in her finger. You want me to present the finger?
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it.
Bullet refutation? Trigger
That
happy
could only
havoc.
be because she
Oh!
used that finger to write
That
the
makes
message.
sense. Gotcha. So that was the basic idea, maybe?
She broke her right wrist during the
Using
fight,
truth
so
bullets?
she'd have to use her left hand to write.
It's this game's robot dinosaurs.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still...
It's very stylish.
What the heck do those numbers mean?
Leon.
11037?
It's okay.
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of
Impressively
meaning in these
90-degree angle.
numbers.
Of course.
So I don't know if anyone's seen the Ready Player One movie. It's different from the book. There's a scene in the movie where they're trying to find this Easter egg, and there's this race. So the book is a completely different, much more interesting secret Easter egg. But the way they solve it is after like decades of people trying to find this Easter egg, the main character decides to drive backwards. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, everyone would have done that on the very first day if they're looking for a secret, but okay, fine. I see, it's for a different audience than the book was.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
The book has a lot of issues. It's extremely problematic. It has cool ideas, though. There are some sequences in it like, oh, that's kind of neat. I can see how like an uber nerd would figure that out. The movie basically just made it so that instead of it being the uber nerds among a community that's all nerds, it was the nerds among a community of regular people figure something out, which makes more sense for a theater-going audience. Anyway, it's worth reading like a Wikipedia summary of the book, maybe not reading the whole book itself.
No, it's just...
look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers.
Thanks, Ifumi. They're letters. It says
Don't these
Leon.
first two, 1, 1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
The letter
You're
N.
Right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1, 1. But looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Does anyone know if that puzzle is still Arabic numerals and English letters in the Japanese version of the game?
Oh my god.
Right,
Oh my
nothing.
god! Although actually it was sort of obvious.
Because maybe it could be more challenging if it's not your native language, because like the glyphs that they use do not look like numbers at all. They look like letters that are upside down. So maybe that was the problem. Still Arabic letters. Okay. Or numerals, rather.
Our little gray cells are really
Latin letters.
excited now.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't
It's okay.
make any more sense than before.
Sing this song to my niece Cameron all the time. Have patience, have patience. Don't be in such a hurry. Hey, Heaton, how's it going?
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
She's just gonna tell us anyway. Thanks, Kyoko.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right on to who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
I went the wrong direction. He was standing directly to my left, wasn't he?
Here's my answer.
Noelle.
The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately,
Squall did it.
Leon.
What? What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something
Easily.
sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
Easily, but okay. I guess she was dying. She got stabbed in the
That sounds like one
stomach.
hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Oh.
Huh?
Kyoko is
You know what I'm talking about.
She kind of had a non-interference policy earlier. Now she's like, y'all are taking this way too slow. Let's wrap this up. I appreciate it. She's like my guardian angel or something. It would actually be funny at this point if she's ever a suspect or a victim. I could see her being like the last victim, so she's not there to help me anymore, you know? And then we'll show he threw the crystal ball to turn
burnt
on.
shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
Yeah, writing it upside up would be more natural. I agree.
As
Into
the
better.
killer stabbed Sayaka,
It's just like
they must have gotten some of her blood on them.
L-E-O-N.
And to dispose of the shirt covered
If I
in the
wanted to write it
victim's
upside
blood,
down,
they threw it into the incinerator.
it's actually harder.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
Maybe it's just the difference between the way that you write Japanese versus the way you write
If they
English.
had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
It's okay. We've talked before about the different sort of degenerate rudiments of a of a Phoenix Wright mystery puzzle. It's like, letters, orientation, left versus right, sound, time of day.
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Line of sight is a big one.
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white
It's a great line
button-up.
from Sakura.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine.
There's a lot of circumstantial evidence, buddy.
There's no way you can say for sure who it belongs
Spirits of the dead. Yeah.
You're right. That alone isn't enough.
Parrots.
But there are some other points
That is a mystery of rudiments. I'm pretty sure that there's a parrot in Murder on the Orient Express.
The answers to all the riddles are right here.
It was one of the many murderers.
Yeah, I think so.
That was wrong. Time it was destroyed.
Shoot!
Embarrassed myself in front of everyone. It was burned?
If we look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out.
This one I'm not
who
sure
the
I
killer
follow
is.
Makoto's logic yet. Let's see what he says.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either.
What if you threw...
You need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty.
It sounds like you're all prepared to
So the
explain
killer had
that,
to be whoever
Leon.
was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
Make your argument.
The key to the track, whoever was on cleaning duty.
So the only one, the person in charge.
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to just...
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. They wanted to use objection.
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose
I'm
of the
comfortable
evidence
using legal
without
jargon in everyday
using the trash
situation.
room key.
I object.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
Disagreement.
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the
Throw it.
incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Nuh-uh.
Through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Answer absolutely ruined by broken glass shards, exactly. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy. I'm glad they kept that in the flashback.
The key. So the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate.
So I guess the crystal ball is meant to be like a red herring clue as well? Maybe? We'll see.
Once they'd gotten the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey,
That
come on!
snap zoom in, zoom out effect is way too
All
intense.
you have to
Tone
do
it
is
down a
look
little
at the
bit.
scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Or that's what Hifumi wants you to think.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far.
He's
and
a
hit
baseball man. He's a baseball man. Hey, Hey, who's a baseball man? The ultimate baseball star. You goof. You done goofed.
Really do that?
He's a baseball man.
That's right. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I
Oh,
don't
it's a
think so.
baseball.
Because the killer is...
Jaggers.
I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Yeah, everyone forgets that.
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
I wonder if the later trials, like whatever their ultimate ad is always going to come up as a step. It could be interesting if it always ends up mattering.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly
Sure,
clear.
Kyoko.
And with that,
She's one of those,
we
like,
can end this.
leads in a vacuum kind of
Listen to
people.
me! What the hell do you mean end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the
But
questions
doesn't
have
she
been
leads in a
answered,
vacuum,
and the
but she
truth has been
delegates.
revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is about to begin. We'll give a complete summary of the case. Reproduce the flow of events of the case in the form of a comic book. Okay. Neat concept. Notice in the comic there are a number of pieces missing. Hold on real quick. Oh, I can't save. I guess that's fair. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Hey, Mia, how you doing? Take aim at a missing section and press the A button. You'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Alright. I love all the UI for that. It's a neat concept. I'm confused. Sorry. I've got time, though. Okay, I think I get it now. Oh wait, that's wrong. So this goes here. Right. This is the piece of evidence left behind. Killer threw in the incinerator. I mean, the whole shirt, right? But okay, we'll come back to it in a second. The object the killer threw to activate the incinerator. Alright. Killer used an item in my room to help dispose of evidence. This is a neat way to wrap up the thing with the comic book. It's the last restraint to leave something behind. Look how you can kind of see what actually happened here too. I like the look of the killer too. I'll go back from the start, it's probably easier. This began when the killer entered. Oh, I see the one that I skipped now. Yeah, the stylization of the normal artwork is really cool. I think they got a different artist to do it. Okay. Pink is blood, that's right. It's confused when she tries to stab him. I noticed something in my room. So it's top to bottom, right to left, so this happens, then this happens, then this happens. They used that object to deflect Sayaka's attack, which is why evidence was damaged. What do they do next? That's not right. What's this? Presumably they picked up the knife, right? I don't see one where he picks it up, but I assume that's what they're going for with that. And also, I guess the color matches, which is maybe relevant. There's one extra duplicate, okay.
The killer is you! I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning.
That's cool with the
Last
sound
night,
effects.
the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell,
Featureless gray
Sayaka
person.
invited that
Gray
person there
alien.
intending to kill them.
Iconic song.
She
Yeah, I really like
attacked
this
them with the
reenactment.
knife
I'm
she'd
glad this is
taken from the
happening.
kitchen earlier.
Crazed she looks.
But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist.
Oh, but the sheath was still on, okay.
The killer is you! During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist.
Okay, I think I understand.
And that's when she
Eventually,
lost her grip on the kitchen knife.
he has to get the knife, though, because that's how the story ends. That's
Finding
appreciate
himself
they do that.
cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing.
It's refreshing to see the old ones being.
So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her.
Divisive things often are fascinating.
And with
Dun
that,
dun.
all her strength was gone.
Do you think that's the menacing? I guess dun dun is a
Sayaka
pretty
dead,
good
the killer quickly
translation of
began
that.
destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood.
Lenny Briscoe.
Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there.
Written by Dick Wolf.
Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there. but the trash room was blocked off by an especially
I
sturdy
really like
gate,
this
preventing access
comic
to the
book part.
incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hero's crystal ball, which he'd left in the laundry room.
This is my favorite part so far. I really like the art
killer
during it.
managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw, but the killer had the confidence to take a shot. And that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star.
And everyone just listening to Makoto, it's like, is he supposed to be giving a closing argument? Is he like...
Crystal ball,
Did we appoint
thrown with
him?
absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life.
These are their stories. Yeah.
Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they
By
left
two
the
groups.
area with, I imagine, a sigh
A bunch of
relief.
stupid students, and those
But
same
there was
stupid
one
students.
thing they missed. Part of the shirt they
She's a
thrown
leader
into
in
the
a
fire
void.
burnt away.
She
and
rises
fell
to the
out of
occasion, and then
incinerator.
she immediately delegates.
The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence.
Ah,
Isn't that right, Leon?
ba-boom. Complete.
It would appear that Hero simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room.
Yeah, right.
You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right?
I know the answer. Can you tell me? No, no.
Seeing the
Figure it out
ball,
yourself.
you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object!
Don't ask him, do you
I mean,
object?
all of this is just a bunch of stupid
No.
theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well,
He
then,
objects.
I
Let's
guess
start
this is
over.
as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
I am. Your first bullet time battle is about to begin. What? Your opponent simply won't hear what you have to say. Engage them in a head-to-head battle. Hey, thanks for redeeming that. You want to see how that works? If you head over to Marstead.com or you click on the games link below the stream there, you can spend those sphere points to vote for the next game we're going to play. There's some commands listed there. Press the A button to lock onto an opponent's statement. Wait, is this actually... I guess we'll have to see what it actually looks like. Destroy the statement you've locked onto with the Y button as the tempo marker. There is a rhythm battle. Oh my god. Keep us going. You'll initiate a tempo up. Final strike. The weak spot statement will appear. Press Y. I didn't mean to advance that. That was an accident. Refute their statement fast enough. Have fun. Okay.
When the killer removed the screws from the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do
Use
it.
their toolkit.
Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
No one believes you because you're bad at rhythmic shooting.
I refuse to
Closing
acknowledge
argument
you.
dance battle.
You're stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid! Stupid, 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 stupid!
Indisputable evidence. The moment of truth. The background.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. You lied. Stop
This
talking.
is too good.
Shut up. Where's your
They must
proof?
have had fun coming up with this.
You kidding me? Not a chance. You lied. Shut up. Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. You lied.
So I have to wait until I get the thing that's on the screen.
Shut up.
How far back does it send me? So I'm not just supposed to combo the whole time? It said that I'm supposed to wait until the key statement comes up and then press Y. One button locks on, the other is used above the statement sub.
I refuse to give up yet.
You have to blow them all up? So I tried pressing Y, but I thought I was waiting until it showed me the orange statement, right? This is how trials work. Oops. Sign lock on. Okay, so whenever there's a statement on the screen, press Y to clear it, but your combo will still go up if you never press Y? I guess I was waiting for bad feedback that I was doing something wrong. Yeah, exactly, Heaton.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid.
Okay.
You lie. Stop talking. Shut up. Where's your proof?
It still grows combo even when I'm not pressing
You
Y.
kidding me? Not
Thanks.
a chance. You lie. Shut up. Where's your
So I can
proof?
stack lock-ons and lock on multiple at the same time.
Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. Where's your proof?
This should prove it.
Okay, I think I get it now. Thank you. Deal more damage by waiting for multiple lock-ons to blow them up together. Thanks.
Were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used
Pain
to
noises
remove
are
them.
natural.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver.
Yeah, so I did read the relevant parts at the end of the explanation, and I thought it meant lock on the whole time until the end when it's going to show you one orange statement that you blow up, but I guess that makes sense.
Tools anywhere.
I just wanted to let's do a rhythm debate. I can't believe that came up in the game, like, not even an hour later.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It
His
had to be their
own.
very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Stuff can slip through and damage you. Let's see.
Would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
I didn't hear pain noises or losing hearts.
Huh? And if you say you used it for something
I was just
else,
looking at the center
you'll
of the
have
screen to see the
explain
combo
exactly
going up.
When, where, and why.
And let me say
Yeah,
this
great.
right now. I lost
Because that's
it
another
isn't an
dimension for this
excuse at
game.
this point.
Boys versus girls, and all of the settings they've established. Great, probably will. To give them an extra
So,
mystery
you have
dimension.
no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
The cool face. C rank on part 10. Sorry.
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes?
You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection. Oh,
Monokuma
just to
did not
remind you all,
talk at all during the trial.
make triple sure you vote
He
for
did
someone.
confirm that his
You wouldn't want to be
accomplices
punished for
didn't
something
count.
so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Michael Jackson popcorn gif. Okay. This game is very stylish. Blackened in this case, the one that killed Sayaka, none other than Leon.
Huh?
His freaked out face is pretty great.
Hold on.
Did you really kill Sayaka? I mean, yes.
You son of a bitch!
I didn't have a choice.
Wait, didn't they all just vote?
So that's why.
I think it's straightforward that she attacks him. He's not completely a bad guy, right?
I was just unlucky. That's all.
Yeah, I know. Why are they all shocked? They just went over this.
Hey,
exactly.
Come on!
See you, me. Nice meeting you. The decision we made was right after all. What we came up with really is the truth. The truth is that Sayaka was trying to frame me. It's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. The pop group breaking up? I mean, I don't think the implication is that he murdered the other pop group members. They kind of just looked like they were sad and passed out. The pop idol suddenly tripped at the same time. It's like, if they're already dead, what's she gonna do about it? Alright, so I disagree categorically with Makoto here, if I'm following his logic right. Like, it makes perfect sense. She just couldn't handle seeing them falling on their faces. It's happening for Dragoons in the group.
No matter what happens, please always be there for me.
Am I supposed to be reading the DVD as saying, if you don't graduate, I will kill your friends? Because that makes more sense. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? I guess I'll never know. The entertainment industry sure must be terrifying, huh?
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Okay, I was wondering about that propagable because it was presented like the music and all of the tells when you go to see the DVDs reminds me of like Doki Doki Literature Club in its severity, but then the actual thing you see is like super mild. But it's meant to be much worse. They're just being subtle about it, I guess. It's interesting though, because like the deaths are still pretty violent. Something serious happened, they might be dead. Okay. I guess I read the raw text is just saying that if you don't graduate, then your pop group's gonna break up. Okay. Their fates are in question. Right, which leaves significantly more to the imagination. Killed his couch. Yeah.
Calm
Yeah,
down.
I felt like that one made more sense to me.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Thought for sure you're gonna give me a good walloping. Then you would have gotten killed.
Yes, indeed.
Blackened Leon will receive his punishment.
Punishment? You mean execution?
He was just de-emphasizing
Wait
it
a
in a way
second.
that's supposed to be, like, sinister. Yeah, I guess, like, sorry, I guess if it was, like, there was, like, a picture of someone holding a knife to them or having, like, a sniper dot trained on their heads or something that implied that they were, like, in immediate danger of being harmed instead of just being tripped over on the stage. Just like, you wouldn't want your pop group to break up now, would you? They're like, oh, okay. He's saying if you don't get out of here, I'm going to kill your friends. And then that makes sense.
Yeah, that's it.
Blackened chicken.
Is that okay?
Did you not use your did you or did you not use your very own toolkits? After she shut herself in the bathroom, you went back to your whoa, Ben!
That's why.
No! He sat on the keyboard, he sat on the spacebar. There's no way to revert text, is there? I think there's a thing I can go to read the transcripts. Okay. Did you not use your very own toolkit? After she shut herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to head back to your own room. When you came all the way back, broke into the bathroom and killed her. You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you chose not to. Alright. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder? You were closer to her than anyone, were you not? Here we go. Apparently I need to unplug the keyboard when I'm playing this. Even if I'm playing on a controller. Well, Kumo's the one to blame. If it weren't for you, this never would have happened to Sayaka or Leon. You put them in a shitty Hunger Games Battle Royale type situation.
Unbelievable.
Did you awaken to your sense of justice?
Hey,
Is nothing more unethical than an unwavering sense of justice? It's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world. Is that the kind of justice that's awakened within you?
Thrills, chills, kills! I'm begging
Punishment
you.
time.
Please, don't do this!
Hey, come on now.
Stop, please!
Are we doing like a,
I prepared a very special punishment.
do we have social commentary here? This is what society demands.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
No!
Everyone does things for a reason. Leon has been found guilty. Oh, they're all still flat. That's dark. Oh, I see. Because he's a baseball star. That's very dark, though. It's pretty uncomfortable. They make them all watch? Jesus. It's not fun at all. Less brutal than dragging the trial longer. Detective whiff of social commentary. That was the true face of despair.
Extreme!
Some saw shit.
I can't take it.
Well?
All you gotta do is swear to cut all ties with the outside world and accept living here forever.
Damn you!
Why the fuck are you doing all this evil shit to us?
Say what? Well...
Yeah, right. Does he build the ironic execution devices ahead of time?
Hey,
Shit.
He's a murderer. Is that still not clear? Of course, we can't cut free from the outside world. Isn't it so wonderful how we all get to live here forever?
What does this mean?
Hey.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Hey.
Who exactly are you referring to? Yeah, who's everyone? Other people that have made it through this and want to watch the punishment? The player? I don't want to watch the punishment, it's pretty brutal. Well, at least they're the correct amount of psychologically damaged by that. They're like, yay, punishment!
Just a second. Makoto.
Something I want to talk to you about. It's about Sayaka, isn't it? I'm surprised you figured it out. You had to figure out the mystery of this case yourself. You wanted me to realize how Sayaka betrayed me by myself, didn't you?
It's true.
Sayaka meant to double-cross you. That's a fact you can never change. As she lay dying, she was thinking of you. There's no way you can know that.
However...
If you can't ask her, you can infer it, don't you think? Her final thought was how she could protect you. She didn't care what happened to you, she never would have left the message. Okay, I mean...
Certainly.
I guess it matters to Makoto that this girl he just met actually kind of liked him and didn't want to kill him? Her hesitation attracted failure. I think I probably would have had them all live together for like a year or something, and then trigger the death games. Kind of.
Correct.
She went on to become a famous pop star. Move past their deaths? I could never do that. Carry their memories with me wherever I go. So instead of forgetting them, you're choosing the hard road. Joe, I wanted to talk to you about Sayaka. I'm psychic.
What?
I just have good intuition. Yay, good timing. Surviving students. Oh man, they have fun with their UI elements, don't they? You received Despair Bat presents. I do want to save data. Alright, that's a good stopping point. Future Marstead, you're about to start Chapter 2. It seems like the chapters in this game are fairly self-contained, so not a lot you have to keep track of. There was the pop idol girl who got murdered by Leon, the ultimate baseball star. Your first trial, you proved that he did it. Although it turned out that he was kind of just defending himself, and there wasn't really anyone in the wrong other than the murder bear. So keep trying to work together against the murder bear, but that's probably not going to happen because it doesn't seem to this kind of game. Then you'll have a new chapter, someone's probably going to die, there's probably going to be a trial. The mechanics are pretty straightforward, and most of them are indicated on the screen. Just when you get to the rhythm battle sequence, make sure you're pressing A or Y, depending on whether there's text on the screen or not. Let me get back out of here. Thanks, Ravanon, for sharing. So much cat butt.